Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's good to see you guys for our last day of the summer sale, of all the summer sales, actually. So it's great to have you. Thanks for taking the time to tune on this nice Friday. It's almost the weekend for you guys. Hello to Jack and Katarina over at Behance, and hello to Sunbrox over on YouTube. Thank you guys for taking the time to pop in. If you are stumbling upon this live stream and you're not sure what it's about, this is the very last stream for the AE scripts and AE plugins summer sale, week number 4, and it's the last day of the sales. It is a wonderful site with a bunch of different plugins and scripts for After Effects and multiple other programs, including like DaVinci, Premiere, you name it, always growing. And today we have Nick, Scott, and Mike over from Extrabite to talk about a few of their extensions from GifGun to Critter 2 to Origami. And then later on, we have another interview as well for Selector, which is exciting. But I am going to go ahead and I'm going to bring on in Lloyd. Lloyd is the creator of AE scripts and AE plugins, and it's a pleasure to have him here. So without further ado, here's Lloyd. Hey, Lloyd.
Hello. You're in a new spot.
Hi. Yeah, I'm down in Florida today. So hello from sunny Florida.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's gross down here too. So don't be fooled.
So wait a second. That intro has me all confused. We're not discussing Friday the 13th movies
No,
exclusively
I should
this
have.
luck.
I had the idea to do like a spooky thing earlier, and then it kind of fell away when I forgot about it. And then just now you're reminding me, and I'm trying to think if I had any bad luck today or not.
Oh no, the opposite, dude. Today's like a celebration day. It's
what, are you gonna go kill some people?
well, no, I you know, it's funny. I've been married for a long time, and everybody on the 14th of February is like, "Did you buy your wife, something for Valentine's Day?" I'm like, just because Hallmark decided that today is the day that I'm supposed to be nice to my wife, doesn't mean that every day you should be nice to your wife. But
Friday the 13th, however,
I think Friday the 13th, you're not going to be all spooky every day of the year, so this is a good time to sort of change it up, I think.
I didn't know where that was going. I wasn't sure if you were about to be like, yeah, no. So on Friday the 13th, I always buy something for my wife because she's freaky. So
that could be. I mean, this, it's up for interpretation.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint with no spookiness on today's stream. But I think it's going to be a fun one still. We've got one of my favorite all-time extensions actually here for GifGun, which was my introduction to aescripts and AE plugins.
That's right.
But for those who are not familiar with aescripts, do you just kind of want to give them a rundown of what the site provides and what
sure. We provide plugins, scripts, extensions for After Effects, Premiere Pro, Cinema 4D, Final Cut Pro. I would say the bulk of our tools are for After Effects, but we are quickly growing. Now we have DaVinci Resolve, Blender, Illustrator, Audition. We have tools for a lot of different hosts. And the idea is just to really make your life, I mean After Effects artist, video editor, whatever you do, we try to make your job a little easier, or let you create an effect that would otherwise be harder to do by hand. And yeah, if we've saved a few hours of your time so that you can focus on what it is that you really do, which is design or edit or animate, then we've done our job. And we also like to, by the way, I should say, to continue on this Friday the 13th thing, we also like to not take ourselves too seriously when it comes to marketing and sort of like the business side of things. On April 1st, mark your calendars because we always do something special. And
I have never caught that actually. What did you guys do this year?
Go to our site and check out Plug Intelligence.
Oh gosh! All right. So is that something that you kind of start working on in the new year, every single year, to just kind of?
Why don't we share that trailer for everybody watching as our Friday the 13th offering?
1 second. I'm gonna have to download it and prep it. So while we do that,
we can share it later.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it now. But in the meantime, I think it's a great time to start bringing in Nick and Mike, just kind of talking about what they have created and their relationship with the site, and then I can get this loaded up while we're talking. But please help me in introducing Nick and Mike. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, Lloyd.
Full screen today.
Oh yeah, cool.
Nick, I like your lighting. It's very Bob Burnham Inside Movie style there.
Yeah, I can actually change it like this. What do you think?
I think it's very good for Friday the 13th. You're on brand, clearly.
Like this. Let's keep it this way.
Wow.
I don't even know how to change it. Oh, now it changes colors. Wow.
Keep it this way. It's fine.
Okay.
Well, I expect it to change every few minutes now while we're talking today.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Are those my kids?
Nope. There's a kids in the other room in here.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. We have a lot to cover today, obviously, with everything that you guys have created. You have GifGun, you have Critter 2, you have Origami, and also, which I think is actually probably the most famous to most people watching, is BG Renderer. But that actually is a new tool for me. I've been talking to definitely checking it out. I was talking to Lloyd. I think it was maybe last sales week, and he was saying that it was one of the extensions that actually is a disadvantage because now you can work while it's working. Before you had an excuse to go do something and be like, oh, I can, it's rendering. But now it is a little too good to be true. But I want to talk about all those. But I want to kind of actually start off with Extrabite and to see how the two of you started working together and what Extrabite specializes in and what we can expect from the plugins today.
Yeah, I guess we started with Nick. We met with Nick in 2015 when he was visiting my hometown, and that was kind of random, I guess. We didn't expect to do much, but we were both into aescripts area. I was working as a motion designer, and he was owning the studio. So it was kind of trying to optimize. I was trying to optimize pipelines, and he was having a studio, so he also wanted to optimize pipelines for him. And word by word, we kind of figured out that GIFs is something we want to improve. How to create? Everyone was creating GIFs at that time, and still, and we wanted to give a tool for ourselves first to make that a simple one-click solution. So we started to experiment, and I guess we had the first version after just 2 months after we met with him, and then it kind of just grows. And then after a year or so, when we figured out that we kind of comfortable working together and we understand each other nicely and have common ideas, but also can kind of help each other out, then we decided to make it more than just a plugin and working together, but kind of like an Extrabite team. And I guess we're still doing that after 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah, but I really think that we met in 2014 or something like that, and actually, yeah, we had no. I think we had no initial plans to work together. It was just like, hey, Mike, hey, Nick, like, wow. We had a couple of words on the social media, and then when I had this idea about GifGun, I just, I had this like spur of the moment idea that, hey, there is Mike. I met him once in my life, and he described something that closely resembles something that can be morphed into GifGun. And I really think that we had prototype in 1 month, not 2, because it was bad.
Yeah.
At least it was not as great.
Yeah.
And I really find it cool that Ryan was saying that GifGun is the first tool that brought you to aescripts. That is really inspiring to me, because actually the first tool that brought me to aescripts was BG Renderer, and the history made a full circle, but I think we can talk about it a bit later.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say that these guys are my favorite sort of author duo, right? Because they're another sort of awesome yin and yang team, and just also really up for difficult problems and creating simple tools with great UX UI. I think that they both share my passion for simple UIs, and that's why they took over the BG Renderer project. Because to be honest, GifGun and BG Renderer are perfect examples of tools that seem like they're simple tools, but they're really complicated behind the scenes. And so it really just not just anybody can actually accomplish that. So that if I can add that little bit to them, that they really are really great at that.
Yeah, if everyone could stop discrediting them and stop the hate mail, then that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, hello to Connor and hello to Wavem, also on YouTube. Wavem saying, guys, just came here to tell you that you're all awesome. And Connor has been here like every single day. And he's already asking, do you have some tips for GifGun with getting good GIFs with a transparent background, like reducing anti-aliasing?
I can take it from here. It's, it is that is a really hard question for me, because the whole idea of GIF is that the format actually was revisited last time when I was, I think, 1 year old. It was like 1989. It's like
which is
GIF
just
release
wild.
1989B. The problem is that it is not as good for transparency because you don't have this anti-aliasing. You have nothing. You have 256 colors, and then one of them should be the transparent color, and it's either on or off. So you basically do not have this option to have this smooth transition from 0 to 100% of opacity, like in After Effects. It is solved by dithering, by Photoshop, but it's also double-edged sword because you have a lot of dithered pixels and you have to have it on the smooth background. So basically, our recommendation for everyone doing GIFs with to be like shown on transparency, to add some amount of pixels around the alpha layer that is going to match with color in color with your background. For example, those are going to be exactly white or exactly black or exactly blue. I don't know. This is like you might consider this a hack, but unfortunately you cannot do this with GIFs explicitly. So I don't know, Mike, you can add something to it, but that's the issue. You either have dithered GIF, which is not good in most of the times, or you have this, pixels around the edge of alpha, which is also not good. So you're choosing between two evils. We chose one.
Actually, Nick, I'm going to add to this that if you've ever heard that comedian that says, what is it with people who get on an airplane and complain about the Wi-Fi not working properly?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So just keep in mind that the fact that you actually have a GIF that has an animated GIF that has transparency, it's kind of like getting Wi-Fi on the plane.
Yeah, but to be honest, the fascinating thing about GIF is that this actually is a standard. It is widely accepted standard, and even though GIFs are not, they ran on the CPU. They eat up your resources a lot. And right now, they do not know this whole story. They make GIFs like 1080p GIFs that are huge, and they ask us why does it weigh 200 megabytes? And I have to say that it is not compressible. Even though there is an algorithm for compression, it is pseudo compression. It does not work this way. So people do not know this, but still, it is widely accepted, widely supported. And GifGun does this, and it's like tongue in cheek, but I really hate saying this to the customers that you cannot get great GIFs with alpha. Sorry.
I mean, I disagree though. I disagree. I have had great success, honestly, with GifGun, both in beyond the compression of getting it down to something really low. I know obviously alpha makes it
but that's alpha. It's the issue is alpha channel. You either have it great or you have it like in GIF format.
Nick,
you
I think
interpolate.
we're too close to the problem, Nick. I think Ryan's got a better perspective on it. I think.
Yeah. I'm not a designer. I don't know how it works.
It's been great, honestly. It's something that I've tried to every once in a while, like I'll bring it down and GifGun will get it to a certain size, and sometimes it won't be low enough. So then I'll go onto like other websites that like do like video to whatever, and I can never get anything to ever beat GifGun. It's kind of like my Waze, like on Waze for the estimated time of arrival. Like I can't beat that. If I speed, if I take a shortcut, it's never going to be better. Google Maps, like maybe, but GifGun is my Waze. So I realized we didn't play the promo for it though, so I'm going to play it real quick for people who are hearing of GifGun for the first time. And here you go.
I really love this.
Another nomination for one of the best promos out there. Thank you.
After all these years, I love it. And actually, this promo has been created by the guy. His name is Stepan Christoforov, and he goes by the name of BrickSpacer. The guy is actually right now one of the leading figures in Russian NFT scene. All this part of the world.
Yeah,
he knows everybody.
BrickSpacer on Instagram.
Yeah,
he's awesome. Yeah,
he's really good. I mean, really good. Follow him.
I concur.
Can you say that name again, just so I can throw it in the chat?
BrickSpacer.
BrickSpacer. Also, Reverb Mike is saying, I already have more than the maximum amount of scripts installed. Is there a script to fix that? I'm like, that is a great problem to have, although not a great problem to have.
Yeah, well, actually, Mike,
that is not a problem. Everybody, just
that's a good idea for neural networks for application of deep learning and saying which scripts you need right now.
Yeah,
what
right.
Is the maximum amount, though? I'm surprised there is a maximum amount. Is it 200 or something?
I have never heard of it, so it has to be something like outrageous.
Yeah,
really. it should be really big. I mean, yeah.
We should try an After Effects limitation. Well, this is where you can use our manager app to dynamically, well, not dynamically, but to easily turn, install and uninstall scripts so that your After Effects, to be honest, even if you're not hitting the limit, I do know of a lot of users who have their, like, say, animation tools and then their design tools, and depending on what it is that they're doing, they just install and uninstall those tools. And our manager app has actually a filtering option, which is the little luggage tag looking icon. So you can actually create groups of any tools that you want, and then so you can actually these are all default tags. You can default by the host type or by the author, but you can also create your own filters. So
Also, don't mind that they're all orange. I'm on a different computer. I'm not on my graphics computer.
But that's actually what's cool about it, is that it's very quick and easy to tell what you have installed and what you don't have installed, or what needs an update.
Absolutely.
And you can also notice the hidden group, which is a default filter. You can actually hide tools. So you can add any tool you want to the hidden group, and then it won't show up on your list.
In case you don't want anyone looking over your shoulder. And
no, but like a lot of people say, they have older tools that they don't use anymore, or in the case of name your own price tools, the policy is that we ask you to name your own price for every version. So it's possible that you have every version of Ease and Wiz or something, and so easily putting all the older versions in the hidden group is a very, very common popular request.
Albert's in the YouTube chat saying, I bought GifGun months ago, and it's really fast producing GIF files from After Effects. Any future plans for origami, though, like additional shapes or features? Which is actually a pretty good transition into talking about origami. Origami is really cool, also has a really cool intro scene. So I'm going to play that, and then we can talk about that.
Also made by...
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it was. But actually, when I first saw what the guy, again, this BrickSpacer, Stepan, what he did with origami, I did not believe it. And I said, hey, show me the files. Like, is it really origami? Is it really what we can do with this? And, the issue is that for the longest time, we were asked, like, how can it possibly be done with origami? And that's true. I mean, it is true. It is hard. At that time, we had like our fastest studio machine, and it struggled with this. I mean, right now, After Effects is a bit better with that because they've updated a lot of things to handle lots of shapes. But back then, it was really hard.
And the project, I remember, was done in a way that it was almost impossible to understand what's happening over there. I remember we spent like 2 months figuring out after 2 years, like, where's the file? Where's anything?
Yes, that was really hard. I mean, it is done with origami, but it is done in such a way that you have to be like Stepan to understand what is this.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole product. Actually, we spent a lot of time developing origami, and that was one of my ideas, what I wanted to do. And I've been trying to actually animate curse words for fold or unfold. Oh yeah, somebody sent me a tutorial about how to manually, break down the letters into shapes and then fold and unfold it. It was like 3 hours, and I thought it can be automated. What do you know? Like 3 or 4, 2 months, I think I've spent on my own. And then after we released GifGun, there was Mike, and we spent another like 2 or 3 months to automate a tutorial that was 3 hours long. I don't know, maybe it was not useful, but I mean, yeah.
But actually, Ryan, you made a good point about if we are planning to do anything with origami, because the way origami built is that it allows you to plug in extensions, which will, so basically the origami is 2 parts, right? It's the engine, which does this transformation, and then there's a mathematical part which does this triangulation, or like splitting the plane into different shapes. And this is plugins. So all of those which we just saw on the screen, that's the one. That's the different plugins. And then we thought, oh, maybe we can extend it with new ideas and something. And that's how we created the hexagon plugin for origami, which has different shapes, and it splits the plane into different kind of hexagons. And that's it. So we can continue with different ideas, but actually we haven't found one yet. We haven't found it in form.
I had a couple of ideas about this interesting stacking patterns and all that stuff, but in the end, there are, in my opinion, there are 2 classes. Like, we can approximate into 2 classes of tools, and the ones that allow you to create something that has never been done before. For example, like in origami, you can do something that is so tedious that it can't be done manually in After Effects, or the tools that improve your workflow.
Yeah.
And I think in the end, our attention was like more towards the latter, towards the second class of the tools that improve your workflow. As for origami, I think it's incredibly robust, and it can be. I still, test it on newer versions of After Effects, and it works, which is cool. And if we, or maybe if community comes up with an idea of what we also can do, like how we can split, so we have these triangles, we have these Voronoi triangulations, or Delaunay, so Voronoi is not triangulation, so Delaunay triangulation, Voronoi shatter, and all that stuff. I think it's not that hard to implement more types of splitting, but we just, yes, as Mike said, we just did not do that. I also thought about more algorithm of graph algorithms on how to actually go along this way, because in origami you can choose arbitrary amount of starting points. Like you can choose the starting points only on the edges or in the middle, or these 2, and those are going to be the centers of folding or unfolding. And I think also what I like about origami, we implemented this thing that you can reverse the transition direction. You can either fold or unfold to or from, which is cool. Again, from an arbitrary amount of points. And actually, that's so. Yeah, we can do more on the side of algorithm, more on the side of the splits. But again, our focus right now is a bit more towards workflows and pipeline tools.
Lloyd, you're muted.
Lloyd, you're muted.
That was a good joke, but
Yeah.
he was muted.
Okay.
There we go. On Zoom it says you're muted. So origami, because of the reversing feature, would actually be really great for creating transitions. FYI.
Yes.
Idea
Yes.
tip.
And that's kind of showcased right here a little bit, which is cool. Just seeing how you can pull from a picture straight into something else is really cool.
I actually wanted, to create a kind of like bunch of transitions and upload them to some kind of, I don't know, Innovator or somewhere else, but did not do this because hey, we have a tool, just use it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's true.
Yeah,
So because this is a script, people could actually use this to create transitions for
Yes.
some template or some other.
And you can pre-comp something that is actually cool. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this can be implemented via a plugin, and that should be like GPU accelerated and run very fast because like here you see 100 copies of a layer, and from anyone that has any experience working with After Effects knows that this would take a lot of computational resources. But again, a lot of flexibility because it's a script.
Albert's asking if it would work on video as well, and it does, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it does. Anything you can just use anything as the source for this, like any comp, any video.
You can actually argue this for pretty much any tool in After Effects. What makes After Effects such a cool tool is it's sort of like source agnostic, right? It doesn't matter anything that you can bring into After Effects is a source.
Yeah,
there are obviously exceptions like text layers are parametric and stuff, but you could just pre-comp them and then make them a pre-comp source. So almost anything that is a source in After Effects can be used in these tools.
True.
And then I also know you were talking about how it was set up with graphs so that you can also go in and you can edit it. I think that it made me think of Gritter, which I want to make sure that we touch on, just from the idea of an organized project and having things move in their place and being able to go through it. So let's run that, and then we can talk about Gritter.
I have a Yeah.
All right, Nick, I cut you off, so I'm going to put you back on full screen here. I keep cutting you off today.
No problem. And maybe I just keep talking. I mean, Gritter was the first. Gritter 1 was the first tool that I actually published on aescripts, and that was fun because I was teaching a course on After Effects expressions, and in the end, we had just some kind of chat with my subscribers, and they asked, "Hey, can you just show how to write a script?" And actually, like back, I think 2010 or like around 2010, the first thing I did in After Effects was a script. And then I said, I kind of can, and I did Gritter, but very, very basic. And then I just improved the UI, uploaded it, so contacted Lloyd, uploaded to aescripts, and basically that was it. After that, I published 2 more tools that were name your own price. And I think it was 2013, 2014. And I think Mike, you were visiting Moscow, and then I asked you, hey, do you want, just to improve on Gritter? I have this idea to improve UI, because I did not like this large UI, and I thought that CEP, these HTML extensions are cool, and this is a cool toy project, I think.
So Ryan, you're perfectly following the timeline of how we developed the script together. So the GifGun was the first one, and then we started to work on Origami, and then the Gritter 2 was kind of like a milestone or a transitioning for us to use CEP panels, because the CEP panels just appeared in After Effects at that time, and yeah, for us, it was really hard to figure out how to make it work because of many reasons. And we did a really nice setup with the Gritter. So it was kind of like the helping step for us to transition to more complex tools like a BG render. So Gritter is like a CP panel when we used what Nick did with the Gritter 1. and just wrapped it, fixed some minor issues or major issues with performance, and then it kind of appeared on aescripts. And after that, we instantly realized that, hey, CEP is something we kind of have a knowledge already, and we know even internals of the CEP already. So let's do something better. And as Nick already mentioned, we kind of more always focusing on the tools for pipelines and optimization for your workflow in After Effects. And I guess that's where we can go to the BG render. I don't know.
No, that's awesome. Thank you for the transition. Let's roll it, and then we can start talking about BG render. So natural.
Warning, new BG render incoming. Get ready for the mind-blowing possibilities like rendering one composition with multiple streams at the same time. Need more power? Just set the desired number of streams and enjoy. Forget about huge projects taking ages to render because BG Render renders your project in the background while you can go on with your work. Or you can just go chillax. BG Render will automatically compile the final sequence into a video file, and it will let you know when it's done. BG Render, get to business now. Get things going. Stop waiting. Start working. Doing it, not waiting for it.
I really like the "Goodbye, Honey" subtitles at the end of the bottom of the little Lego animation on that trailer. So wait, where did that trailer? That wasn't the same guy as GifGun and Origami, right? That was somebody else.
Actually, that was. But partially.
Wow!
This part with Lego characters was done by Brickspacer because hey, Brickspacer. He actually started with. He started with Lego animations. That was the thing that he was doing.
Oh, that's why he has bricks. That's his whole thing.
Yes,
Wow.
that's it. So he did that for us then, but not the whole animation.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful trailer.
Oh yeah, I love it as well. It's really it's really hard because we have to change it in the near future because we know that right now After Effects is much more efficient with doing multi-threaded rendering than it was when BG Render was released. Actually, we still can gain like more than 30 up to 50-60% of speed up based on your machine. But it actually, I think anyone can now use After Effects beta version, and it is a bit more efficient than non-beta version with multi-threaded renders. But again, it's not on the background. That's the whole problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's in the name. I mean, it's not technically in the name, but it's abbreviated in the name. So
yeah, you just know what is BG.
Yeah, I guess we started with kind of mixing multiple features in the BG render with Nick, and one of the features we kind of liked that was the multi-threaded rendering. So it was BG render, but it was also multi-threaded BG rendering, which was kind of we gave people mixed feelings about that. And now with the latest After Effects, we kind of realized that we need to focus on one thing, or at least the main feature, which we kind of promise for the end users.
Yeah, and it's always been an issue of communication, proper communication, because people think that, hey, I have, a processor with, like, say, 8 cores that has hyper-threading, that hypothetically has 16 threads that I can hypothetically utilize. And then they set this to 16, and we actually explicitly showing this large error message, like, do not go there. You would not like the result. They still do. Yeah. And anyone who has experience with After Effects knows that the limiting factor is not the CPU, it's RAM. You have to have lots of RAM. Right now I have a machine with 16 cores, 28 gigs of RAM, and you know what? I can saturate 100% with 2 shapes and 1 effect. It's not as hard. So that's the issue, because even on the beast of a machine that like we have for testing, I do not set like 8 threads. 4 is okay, and you also have to have fast SSD. And we had this, communication with the clients that, hey, it's like you can get this speed up, but you also have to have a decent machine to work on this.
And the dangerous thing is that all modern operating systems will not run out of RAM. They'll instead swap the RAM to disk. So you go from RAM is like a space shuttle speed, and disk is like a Volkswagen Beetle.
But things get worse with that. Things get even worse with that, because at some point the operation system will just stop the process, and After Effects will not receive any message, like any error message, and we rely on internals of the After Effects to get us any information. If there was an error, if there's something, we just don't know what's happening with your machine. We kind of provide information back and forth between iRenderer. And when your RAM is full and you're kind of like rendering for an hour, it just stops. And we received a lot of tickets with people saying, hey, it just stops working without any error. And we kind of understand why that might happen. And then we start to ask people like, what is your settings? What is your machine? What is your composition? And then we usually realize that the issue is either the RAM pressure or the drive, which cannot handle that amount of RAM to be cached. And in this situation, the operation system just cancels it. And yeah, that's it.
If anybody's ever opened too many Chrome windows, and then you look at the activity monitor and it just says 15,000% RAM usage, you've experienced what Mike is describing. And, and this is why I was saying initially, these tools seem simple on the usage end, but they're really complicated on the back. And to be able to like deliver a good user experience, you really are relying on all these other players that are they're not very good at playing along with other friends.
I can give you
Mike
one.
says it's all fun and games until the goat screams, which I have been there many times.
But actually you don't even hear the goat scream.
That's right.
When the RAM is 100% saturated. It's not just something, nothing happens. The computer just, stalls. Nothing happens until you physically restart it. And that was kind of pain when I was testing it remotely. So I have this like remote setup for Windows, and it just froze. So I can do really nothing. I had to wait for a couple of hours until it just turns off. Now I have a Raspberry Pi that, controls my PC that can restart it partially for these reasons. But yeah, you don't hear a goat.
Yeah, hearing the goat is great, because then you know that it failed.
But do you guys know why it is a goat? Does anyone know why it is a goat noise? Is there a story behind that?
Oh man,
there was a story.
There is a story.
Because it seems like one of those things that like universally everyone knows now. That's what it means. But like I remember the first few times, it scared the crap out of me, because it's like, what's happening?
Yeah. I think we used to hear it a lot, I don't know, like 10 years ago when everything failed. Right now, Adobe has improved so much that the newcomers, they don't know that something can fail with a goat sound.
Right. I want to know that.
Also,
hello to Hayden in the chat. Go on.
I'm not sure if I want to go... I'm not sure if I will be going too much into details. I don't want to do that, but I have a perfect example of what Lloyd is saying about that simple UI it's sometimes really hard to implement. And this is exactly how Beach Render is built. We wanted to have something which is small enough so that you can point it to your left side panel and see the rendering process and everything. But then we have a limitation of being a CEP panel. Right, so you can imagine the users want to go and check the settings for the small window. We cannot enlarge the window. We have no options for that. So we need to open a new window. And then the things get really tricky, because we also, for the perfect UI, when you close the plugin, you want to open it in the same state. So we store the state on the client in the CP panel. And then you have the problem because you're opening a new CEP panel, and then you need to match two states between each other. So the way it works is, and this API also changes from different CEP versions because of the Chrome version, because it's using Chromium, and the Chromium stores those states differently. So we have a binary which reads all of that and make a diff between states, and it kind of applies the diff. And it also complicates because the user might update the version from version 1 to version 7 or whatever. Yeah. So we need to apply those differences. And
why did you remind me of that? Why did you have to bring this up? Because I remember when they switched from SQLite, what was that? I don't remember, SQLite to something else. And we were like, what are we going to do now? And we had to write this binary file that syncs and reads this. So yeah, actually, BitRender is two extensions. Those are two extensions. The one being just a window for the settings. And Mike was kind of technical, and he's really good at this. He did this, but that was not trivial at all.
Okay, so I found the video where the After Effects team explains the origin of the sheep sound. I'm going to post it in the chat. You guys can watch it later.
All right.
All right. Oh, which makes me think of I loaded up our April 1st thing. So before we hop on to the next interview, I am going to play that one now. But that is going through actually all of your guys' extension. We're almost on time for it. But was there any one in particular that you wanted to add any more information about, or did we cover all of our bases for the most part?
I guess we wanted to kind of say what we're trying to do in the future.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Products. So we still want to continue to develop tools to optimize. And one of the things we're kind of thinking, there are a couple of things we are thinking of. One of the features which is much hard. It sounds like a hard feature, but it's even harder when we started to implement it. And that was the idea of having BG render to be a BG network renderer, so that you can join machines who have the same composition, and you can render parts of it and then kind of like collect back together if the machines are either on the same network, or we have the service which will do that automatically. We have the initial prototype when it starts rendering, but then the hardest part is actually like when the machine goes out, when the network conditioning degrades, those kind of things. It's really hard, but we are thinking we need to continue in that area. And the second thing is GifGun 2. And Nick, you can maybe explain what we're thinking about.
Yeah, so GifGun is actually going to can continue improving. What I really love about GifGun is, again, its robustness. Yeah, we have released a number of updates. We can say, like, for example, the first couple of months were heated because we had to release update each day, maybe like each week, because something broke. But again, after a lot of experience with BG render and various user settings, we believe that we know how people render at the moment and how to avoid most of mistakes. And it is also almost everything is implemented in GifGun. Again, GifGun is implemented as a standard After Effects script. It's not CEP panel. And again, that's Mike did the great job of making I think what we believe was the first dynamic API for that, for communicating with the backend, with the backend binary for that. So again, we just know that on some time Adobe is going to pull the plug on this kind of scripts, and they're going to say, hey, now it's CEP only, which is kind of what happened with Photoshop. So we are going to port it to CEP panel, and it is going to allow us to do much more things. I don't really think that I want to spoil everything that we prepare for it. So again,
actually, the feature is UXP, Nick.
Yeah, and I don't know. We discussed it with Mike a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was the post in 2019 that Adobe After Effects is going to UXP, but then nothing. Yeah. No updates for it came in 2 years, and from what I know, UXP is not as solid as CEP at the moment. Again, we have.
We should talk offline. Adobe just had a big update on that.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. We can talk about this. Again, we have very cool development environment, set up for that. We have binaries that communicate with everything and experience from picture render, and that is going for us to improve GifGun significantly. That's what it is still going to render GIFs. Don't worry.
What's the chance? What's the chance that the next version will be called GifGun?
If we release
Ryan,
on April
I'm the guy
1st,
here. I'm supposed to be making those jokes, not you, my friend.
Well, let's release it on April 1st, and it's going to have like different versions depending on
how do you say it?
Yeah, how to say it. Just choose your own flavor. GifGun or GifGun. Let's go.
One thing I do want to highlight is that all of these that we're talking about, if you guys are not familiar, if you're just joining us, all of GifGun, Gritter, Origami, BGRunner are all 25% off because of the summer sale, and that's 25% off.
Amazing.
But only until the end of the day, so make sure you hop over and you check them out, because I love these plugins, and you guys have done such a wonderful job keeping them updated, adding new things, and you're not even done yet. So you were saying that there's still great stuff to come, which we're really looking forward to.
That's true.
Well, actually, if you guys remember from the last month's sale, that there's a unspoken secret that the sale actually sneaks into Saturday. So
I was surprised that you're going to give out that information again. I thought that was
we got to give some prize to to everybody who's not at happy hour right now and instead is watching our live stream.
Wait, I just caught Hayden's message on the Behance that said, "Did Ryan just speak Spanish?" I guess that was a reference to my GifGun.
GIF Juan.
That's great. All right. But thank you guys so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you. Pleasure hearing about all the work you guys do. You guys are two very busy men. Obviously, they are all really great. And it's a pleasure to have it on the sale for this week. So
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Ryan Lloyd.
Bye. Thanks.
All right. So now we're going to go check out the April Fool's thing that you had launched. This was this year? This was 2021?
Yeah, this was our 4th of I'm sorry, this was our
your 4th of July.
Our 4th of July. our April 1st plugin release. Well, we're still working on it. I mean, to be honest, these are all very serious endeavors. It's just this one's been a little harder to get to market.
Okay, let's check it out.
Being a motion designer in today's modern world is not easy. There's too many plugins to use and not enough time in the day. And here at aescripts, we feel you. After all, we created this mess. But what if there's a better way? Introducing aescripts Plug Intelligence. How does it work? After undergoing a minimally invasive surgery, aescripts Plug Intelligence implants directly into your temporal lobe, allowing Plug Intelligence AI to merge with your own thoughts, knowing exactly which plugin you want to use every time you click the button. Say goodbye to endless panels. No more annoying updates. Side effects may include headaches, nausea, dizziness, drowsiness, dry mouth, a big plug in your head, loss of appetite, increased sweating, diarrhea, upset stomach, and temporal glitching. Stop wasting time overloading your brain with hard decisions and let us make decisions for you. Ask your art director if aescripts Plug Intelligence is right for you. Plug Intelligence is not available yet. We are still looking for qualified surgeons willing to perform this experimental procedure. Visit our website to be notified when Plug Intelligence is available in your area. This procedure is not covered by any insurance, and aescripts accepts no liability for any harm caused.
Like, you still cover your legal bases, even though it's not even in production yet.
I mean, when you see those ads for these like drugs out there, and they have that like section where they list all the side effects, and I mean, they're just crazy.
Like, you might bleed from your eyes and lose all hearing. It's like, what?
I mean, don't you want to just plug something in and not have to make any more decisions? I want that.
I feel like I need a thing in my head that I keep track of all my plugins, because I mean, you've seen. I like that.
Well, the manager is the beginning, first baby steps.
Well, that's what I do normally. Actually, honestly, I'll normally pull up the manager if I'm trying to come up with an idea for an approach to a project that I want, like a transition or something, and I'll just go down and I'll look at like things that maybe I haven't taught myself, or things that I had forgotten about that just got buried, and then you go and then you can check them out. THRL says nice. Elise was also saying that he noticed the Saturday bleed in. Albert saying purchasing Gritter 2 origami and hexagon for origami. It's almost 12 a.m. here. Awesome. Glad to hear. And THRL said I would pre-order the implant. So at least you can get some funding up front before everything goes out.
Yes, well, like I said, we're still looking for qualified surgeons to perform this procedure.
And qualified countries that'll make it okay to happen.
As soon as we
Hayden says he likes the panicking computer guy. It's very relatable. And I also heard the goat in there. You snuck the goat in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. The goats.
Now, were those your friends over in, I think you were saying over in Michigan, right? Was it the two people? Were those the same creators of that trailer, or where did you kind of outsource that bad boy?
That was Nick Greenwald, who's from Philadelphia, was the lead on that, and then the same animator from Colombia that worked on the AE Viewer spot were the designer animators on that spot. So
perfect. So I'm putting his URL in both of the chats.
Yeah,
you guys want to check out for some inspiration. He's also motion.by.nick on Instagram, and obviously very talented guy. We do have one more thing that I want to touch on before we even hop into that, though. There is one person that we didn't have on the show this week, but just for my viewers in particular, I want to make sure I call it out because they see me use it all the time on my own streams. There is sale included on Two Dead Frog, and Two Dead Frog is they only have one plugin, but it is my one of my favorites. Gotta get it to share. And it's called Simple Text, and it allows you to create these comps that they have animators, and when you go in, you animate like the little box that it gives you. I'm gonna see. Yeah, so it gives you like a box, and then it applies that box's animation to either every letter, every word, or every line of text, which is cool. So you can switch in between, you can add, you can switch, edit the delay, and it works with pretty much any of the main properties. You can do like scaling, rotating. It's really easy to pick up. I continue to find new things that I can do with it. It's normally $30, which is vastly like underpriced in my opinion already, but it's all the way down even more so to $22.50. And you guys have seen me use it on my streams countless times. So if you've been looking into maybe getting it, that is one that we didn't have developers on, but it is a really great thing.
And nothing better than a real world endorsement. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I
know.
It's one of my favorites. It's saved me so much time over the last year because I got it sometime this year, I think. And
awesome.
Yeah. It's
and by the way, I kept saying just to finish my thought from before, I kept saying that the Colombian duo, but it's Geraldine Vergara and Gino Alvarez. No relation.
Oh, awesome.
I put the link in the
no relation. It's your son.
I mean, Alvarez is like the Smith of the Latin world, so we
yeah, no, that's true.
There's lots of us.
Okay, so the last person we have up is actually we pre-recorded it. I don't know if he's still up because it was super late and he has kids, so that's why we actually did a pre-record. So you'll see that I am magically back in New York with it. But we had Gregor on to talk a little bit about his plugin, and I'm going to roll it. And then if you guys have any closing thoughts after that, let us know. But we'll still be active in the chat, so keep things coming, and we'll make a point to update and talk as it plays. So here you are. Welcome, Gregor, to the show. Thank you for coming on with us today and talking about your project. What was the inspiration for this piece?
I had a client project with quite 100 layers. Yeah, groups of layers. I had to select over and over and over again, and after some hours of work, I figured it's simpler to just code a tool to do it than to do it by hand.
So when was that? When was the first version of Advanced Selection?
I think in September, October 20.
So it's still relatively new. What are some of the new features that you have recently implemented into 1.3?
In the first version, it was only the OR mode, so it selected everything that had at least one criteria. Later on, I added AND mode, so for combinations of criteria, like all red text layers. Then inverted mode, and in the last version, we added post-selection actions.
So what do post-selection actions do?
Locking, unlocking, and soloing and unsoloing, enabling and disabling visibility and audio.
So really just giving you full control over what you see, selecting different layers. Now, this all lives on the side of your project at any given point in a UI panel, right?
Exactly. Cool. It's a dockable UI panel, emulates everything that you could do by hand, but just faster.
Without having you to go and individually clicked as you make it through. And so what are some of the different modes that you can break it down into selection by?
Basically, everything you see in the layers panel. Locked, unlocked, shy, soloed, is a track matte, has a track matte, has a specific color. Since version, I think 1.2, also custom colors.
And you can group those together. You can do both is a track and has a track, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
And then can you just go into a little bit of recursive selection and what that does?
Tool is set to select only in the currently selected composition and nothing else. The next step is current +1. So if you have composition with subcompositions, it goes deep, it goes one level deeper in those subcompositions and selects there. And recursive modes does it regardless of how much levels you have. So it goes.
So you can go Inception all the way down and do all the selections that you want.
In comp 1, that has subcomps, that goes into the subcomp, that has a subcomp, that has a subcomp, yeah, you get the idea.
So when you're going and you're selecting things, what are you mostly using the program for?
Matte groups. So animations with alpha or luma mattes, the group, a luma matte, shape, another luma matte, and a text, and that's one block. And 20 of those blocks that are always the same sequence, and I have to say change spacing of the texts. And I know I need only the texts that are linked to those mattes. I could say, give me every text that has a luma matte and don't change the spacing or the font size of every other text.
A lot of people waste a lot of time with not having something that can automate that for themselves. Having advanced selection, you're able to speed up your workflow, and time is money.
That example was actually that one that frustrated me.
Yeah.
That I wrote it, it was some kind of slot machine animation, Fox 3D slot machine with text on each side. And I think it was 3 slot machines side by side, and I had to change elements of the text in multiple variations of those slot machines.
I think a lot of times this tool would become very useful when revisiting projects more so than anything else, because you'll build a project and in the moment you'll know how you have everything set up, what is attached to what. You know, you put it down for 2 days and you come back and all of a sudden you're walking into a messy kitchen. All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers it. It is a name your own price. And it's right now set at $11.24 US. But thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it. I know it was late for you. And it's a pleasure having you. We'll have the link for advanced selection in the chat as this is broadcasting. And thank you again to Gregor for coming on and walking us through advanced selection.
Oh, thanks, Ryan.
Cool. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Bye.
Ooh, and now I'm magically in another place again. Well, Lloyd had to hop. He had a hard stop at 5. But that pretty much calls out the end of our week-long set of streams for the summer sale, and it'll sadly be the end of the summer sale for the summer, which It's sad for multiple reasons. One, the deals. Two, the fact that that means that summer is on its way out, which is sad. And then three, we don't have any other live streams planned right now. But we've had a really good time both this week and the previous week when we did them. So if there's something that you guys want to see more about, please, by all means, let us know. It was a pleasure being able to be here and talk to so many people, make new acquaintances, and learn more about these programs. I hope that it has helped you guys learn how some projects might work into your workflow and help you explore the sales tab. Like Lloyd was saying, the sale technically ends tonight, but it goes on until a little bit of tomorrow. Make sure you guys go ahead and check it out at aescripts.com. Elise says Ryan is max headrooming with the edited interview. He also says do a Christmas sale. Well, there always is a sale for Black Friday, so there's that as well. That's where I get normally a lot of my my sales for it as well. I know Lloyd is always talking about how he tries to have them priced as cheap as possible. That way, you don't have to have sales. But I'm still a sucker for a sale. So what can I say? Albert saying Black Friday will be next, hoping earlier than that. I don't want to go super on record by saying that there is none until then, but to best of my knowledge, I'm pretty sure that's the next one. That said, there is always random sales for stuff, and then also, there's always things being updated and prices changing, and there's always discounts for some projects that have upgrades, and that'll be great. Constance with live streams be back for Black Friday, Cyber Week, or winter sales? That's a question you'll have to ask Lloyd. So push him a little bit and have him give me opportunity to do some more live streams for you guys, because I've had a really good time. As for me, though, I will have live streams on my own channel over on Behance, which is behance.net/RyanSelby. Normally, I'm live Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But as you can see, I'm in Florida. So next week, I will not be live streaming, but I will be back in 2 weeks on Behance. And then hopefully not too far after that, maybe we can get back on here and do something. But like I said, I also don't want to promise anything or force Lloyd's hand. But it's been a really pleasure getting to know all of you guys. Once again, my name is Ryan Selby. It's been nice seeing you every single day, Elise, and good seeing you too, Albert. And Albert says, I'm saving for GeoLayers, Lockdown, and Element 3D. Well, Lockdown is on sale right now, but I also know that it is still a bit of an investment. And I say investment because while it is a decent amount of money, I do think that it will pay off for you, definitely. I got it this week, and I'm looking forward to having some fun with locking things onto moving layers, because I tend to sometimes have a hard time with having motion tracking on just native AE. But Connor says, any teasers for your upcoming streams on Behance? Not on this computer. If I was on my other computer, I would probably be able to pull up and throw something on there. But we have a really good time. I do motion stuff. I do illustration, graphic design. And they're a lot more talkative because I don't have guests as much. So it's really chat focused and chat based. And also on Behance, I just got access to a new video streaming service within Behance. So now the latency is pretty much equivalent of YouTube. So it's pretty much real time, which is nice. But yeah, and Albert says, thanks, Ryan, checking out my cart. Yeah, make sure you just do a quick last run through all of them and see if there's anything else. Like I was saying, the one for simple text is really, really cool by Dead 2 Frog. It's one of the first ones. And that one's a really good one. That's like, how you download some plugins and then you use them once or twice, and then you never use them again. Simple text is one that like I don't see myself in the future unless there's some native update. I don't see myself ever not using it in the future, just because even if I'm doing a simple, like, I don't know, fade in, it's nice to have the control over individual letters or the word as a whole quickly to then turn it and make it purely mine, and have it be adjustable, which is nice. I said I won yesterday's live stream giveaway. Henrique's thumbs up. Oh, awesome. Great. So you'll be working on those thumbnails, which is cool. Elise agrees that motion tracking in AE sucks and Lockdown is an amazing tool, needed too. Yeah, I think, yeah, some people really know how to make motion tracking in After Effects work natively, but I just have never had too much success with it. I've seen it successfully done, but I'm not that great on it. And I also got Composite Brush, which is also from the same creator, and that really helps with green screen and keying. And that's the same sort of thing where, like, I've seen people do it really, really well natively, but I have not been as successful. So I'm excited to just get some products and play around with it. Obviously, you guys should also put your portfolios or your products in the chat too, and everyone should check out each other's stuff. I'm a big proponent of being able to build a community, and I think that the community in After Effects, AE scripts and AE plugins has a really cool group of people that all kind of surround the same ideology and interest in weird things that move on screen. So be sure to throw your guys' information into the chat, and I'll be sure to check it out. You can, like I said, you can check me out on Behance at behance.net/RyanSelby, or you know, Ryan Selvey on Instagram and Twitter. But that's enough of me promoting myself on these channels. But and Reverb Mike is saying Lockdown is insanely awesome. Yeah, I mean, you can do it where you can like get a. I think in their example they use a lot of animals because animals never run into stock issues. But you can also take like a thing of like liquid on coffee, and it's able to switch it back and forth, which is neat. Extremely powerful, and yeah, I'm gonna do some really weird stuff with it. I'll let you guys know when I do. Elise says, I was the first to do album cover animations. Now Apple and Tidal made it standard. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I love that stuff. I've had a few friends with like smaller bands ask me to do it, and I always get really excited about it because I like the Harry Potter vibe of it, you know, where everything has a life and everything's alive. And I'm hoping that, you know, not just things like that will continue to be everywhere just because everything has a screen now and it has capabilities to play animations. So like, why not? Let's make everything move and make everything more fun. Obviously, I've been doing After Effects on and off for the past 20 years, so I'm still catching up. Wow. I mean, you're way ahead of me. I've been doing After Effects for about 8 years, I want to say. Anywhere from like 8 to 10 years. And I still learn new things every single week. So make sure you keep learning. Make sure you check out each other's work. And I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you again. It's been a pleasure. I looked forward to doing this again because I had such a fun time last week, and it met all my expectations once again. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing you guys again real soon. I'm not going to play the outro because the outro says see you tomorrow, same time, same place, and that's not the thing. So instead, I'm just going to play the advertisement for the week of sales one more time, and then we'll log off. So thank you to everyone that was here. Elise, Albert, Reverb, Mike, Hayden, Katarina, Jack, you name it. Son, Wavem, Connor. It was great having you guys. So, all right. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and have fun animating. Bye.